StoryCorps CT features interviews gathered by the StoryCorps Mobile Tour in Connecticut. Meet Teresa Suganski and her daughter Mary Claire Whelan, remembering Mary Claire's father who died in 2019. He struggled with addiction for many years.
It was heartbreaking to find out that your father was using drugs, but I wanted to be there and I wanted to try to make everything work. And then we had you at a time when he wasn't using, and you were like just this tremendous gift to the family. And then he started again. And so we moved back to Connecticut at that point, and slowly it started ratcheting up again. And by the time you were 8, I was like, she's not safe. I can't do this anymore. In my mind, your dad, because that was when his biggest struggle was pretty absent during like late middle school and high school. And I'm just wondering, how do you remember that time? Do you see that as kind of what happened?
It felt like when we moved to the house on Pelham Road, it was like you and me striking out on our own, And I was really glad. I was really happy about that. And I think I was really mad at Dad. I don't particularly remember being angry with him about using or about letting you down or letting me down or anything, but I just remember not liking him.
Yeah.
But I also have a lot of really good memories with Dad from that time. I remember he got Netflix.
Yeah.
And we were trying to watch like a bunch of classic cinema, I think that was also the time that we started taking walks every big snowstorm, where we would go out and just look at the world completely transformed together. And I loved that. I think about him every time it snows.
How did your relationship with your dad change, when you were in college and like what choices did you make around what that relationship would be like as you got older?
I think at the end of high school, I very clearly saw just the possibility of me just not being close to him. Like I went to high school like 2.5 hours from where he lived, and I really wanted to go to college closer to him, and decided to do that even though the college that I went to didn't have a lot of the things that I was looking for, but it was 20 minutes away from him. It seemed like the right choice to make, and I'm so glad that I did, because he just was such a consistent and wonderful part of my life those 4+ years.
I remember being so afraid as you were making that choice that he was going to disappoint you. And I was so impressed actually with your courage to make the choice, even though the stakes were high, and I always felt a little bit like that was your time with him to have conversations and think about things differently. And I was so happy that even though he was struggling, he showed up, and he was present.
Yeah, I think something that I feel so sad about is that those conversations between us were like just beginning, I had so many more questions to ask him, and I just was so interested in him, and he was so interested in me.
Yes, he was.
And I think I just decided, like, of course it's a risk, like, of course I might get hurt, but like, I'm just gonna do it, and take what was there and love him for who he was. And I really got the chance to do that.
Mary Claire Whelan and her mother, Teresa Suganski, in New Haven, Connecticut. Produced locally by Connecticut Public Radio.
The StoryCorps Mobile Tour is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.